involving the crash of a military helicopter this morning around the Adansi area in Ashanti region. Government regrets to announce the demise of the following persons in the tragic crash: Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boamah, Minister for Defense; Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, MP, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology; Alhaji Muniru Mohammed Lemona, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator and former Minister for Food and Agriculture; Dr. Samuel Sapon, Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress; and Mr. Samuel Abuaji, a former parliamentary candidate; Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Flying Officer Manin Chum Ampedu, and Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah. The President and government extends our condolences and sympathies to the families of our comrades and the servicemen who died in service to the country. All flags are to fly at half-mast until further notice. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. As we feared, has been confirmed by the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah. He just made that brief announcement and gave us confirmation regarding the persons on board this aircraft. Well, we'll bring you the details of these persons, but top of my head, we can single out the Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Omane Boamah, and the Minister for the Environment, Murtala Mohammed.
He's also a member of parliament.
A member of parliament, yes.
And then Dr. Limuna,
yes,
who is a former minister and part of the committee.
Yes.
Dr. He's called Limuna. He's a former minister of Agric in the first term of Mahama. That name was also there as well. Maybe let's hear again what Julius Zebra said. I think he read a very brief test statement. So this is the Chief of Staff.
Right.
So you can see footage of the Minister for Energy, Minister for the Roads, other ministers, Finance Minister, all looking distraught at this high-level press briefing.
Yes.
I see the Minister for Works also there. So let's hear again, if we may, what the Chief of Staff just said. This is a national tragedy.
Yeah, indeed.
Flags flying half-mast, because you're talking the Minister for Defense, Minister for Environment, and other high-ranking government officials. I heard Samuel Sapong, Dr. Limuna, and co. So if they are ready to take us back to what he said, let's just hear that again.
We'll bring it back so that we can all listen to what the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, said in that brief announcement. But already it gives confirmation to what we feared earlier regarding that crash, that military helicopter crash in Adansi Akrofuom in the Ashanti region. Some names have been confirmed by the Chief of Staff in that short briefing, and he's directed that flags fly at half-mast. So we'll be bringing you that announcement back shortly as we continue to look at the individuals involved in this tragic accident, which the government is now describing as a national tragedy. It's also important to note that we have been receiving information regarding same about 3 hours ago.
We actually were hoping this was not true.
Really
and this also confirms the event. We do not, and the Chief of Staff did not tell us exactly where they were going. He didn't give those details.
Yeah.
But you defense and environment together, you can obviously see the event that the Ashanti Regional Minister was at as possibly part of their rounds, because these are two important ministries involved in the fight against illegal mining as well, together with the Lands Minister and of course the Regional Minister. And so the names, as we've been told: Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boamah, who is the Minister for Defense. The Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed. and other high-ranking government officials, whose names we are just putting out one more time for you.
It's quite sad, and we were actually holding on to hope that it will turn out not to be true, for which reason we've been standing for the past 1 hour, hoping that the government communication will debunk what our fears were, but unfortunately, same has been confirmed, that indeed the Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Omane Boamah, who served in other capacities in previous governments, and of course served the NDC party, together with the Minister for Environment, Murtala Mohammed, have passed on, as well as other high-ranking officials of government and the party. So let's listen to the Chief of Staff once again.
Sadly, to announce a national tragedy involving the crash of a military helicopter this morning around the Adansi area in Ashanti region. Government regrets to announce the demise of the following persons in the tragic crash: Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boamah, Minister for Defense; Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, MP, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology; Alhaji Muniru Mohammed Lemona, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator and former Minister for Food and Agriculture; Dr. Samuel Sapon, Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress; and Mr. Samuel Abuaji, a former parliamentary candidate; Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Flying Officer Manin Chum Ampedu, and Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah. The President and government extends our condolences and sympathies to the families of our comrades and the servicemen who died in service to the country.
Right, so those were names of the deceased in that tragic accident. For the sake of our viewers, I mean, clearly a few names jump at us, but for the sake of our viewers, let's play it back one more time so that they can know and appreciate who the government officials were and who the servicemen also were. So let's play it back again. Right. So we'll bring it to you so that we
there's
know.
Dr. Edward Omane Boamah, Minister for Defense. Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Murtala, Minister for Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation, who's also MP for Tamale Central.
I think now science, technology and innovation have gone to communications.
Okay, science, technology.
Environment.
Environment. Then Dr. Muniru Mohammed Lemona, who is the
Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator.
He was a Minister of Agric under the first term of Mahama. Dr. Samuel Sapon is a Vice Chairman of the NDC. I believe he's a former Regional Minister for the Ashanti region. And then there was one Mr. Abuaji, who is a former parliamentary candidate. I believe the name is not clear. And then there were also 3 servicemen of the armed forces whose names were also put out there. This is really grim because it is very clear there were no survivors. You mentioned 8 names. You did read that there were 3 crew,
5 passengers.
So all 8 did not survive. He did not give details on the nature of the crash. He just mentioned the location, which we'll be crossing over to shortly. He also did not mention the time. You can tell that the level of shock and grief that has greeted this news. And for the fact that it was the Chief of Staff that had to read it, this is a national tragedy of monumental proportions. To lose 8 people working for the state on the same day at the same time, it's very, very serious. 8 people who were essentially on a national assignment. This is critical. They were on a national assignment. It is tough to take, very, very tough to take. Also, a fact that a lot of them were still young family people, very, very tragic indeed. And also the fact that they were visible people. I was at an event yesterday and actually saw and spoke to the defense minister. I told you we were at the vaccine event, sorry, the health event. So I actually...
Africa Health Sovereignty.
Because don't forget, he's a doctor.
Yes.
And so even though it was not a defense program, he was actually there.
Because he's a medical person.
Yes. So he was actually on the front row with high-ranking government officials, right, including the Deputy Chief of Staff and co. So he was home, you can tell, because these are health people. We have interviewed Murtala many times. His ministry was a ministry that was the custodian of the LI 2462.
Yeah.
So whatever Parliament would do on that LI had to do with him as well. And Dr. Limuna, quite jovial man, who's worked as a Minister of Agriculture under Mahama and also now Deputy National Security Coordinator, is quite known as well, as is Samuel Sapong.
Yeah.
So Samuel Sapong was
Vice Chair of the NDC.
But I believe he was either
former
Ashanti Minister in the Mahama's first term. And then the three servicemen who died, their names have also been put out. We will get the full clarity on this for viewers. But it's aptly been described as a national tragedy. Yeah. And you can also understand why no questions were taken, because the information has to, you know, this is the tragedy of working for your country, that because you are such a high-profile public figure, your demise cannot actually even be kept. Yeah. You know, because if any regular person dies, it's easier to manage the information for their families. But we really hope the families have been informed and that they have sort of been properly managed before this was put out.
I suspect this must have accounted for the delay, because from the communication we received from our correspondent at the presidency, the press briefing was an emergency and it sounded quite urgent. However, we can understand the protocols that will have to be at play before such a communication is put out there. So I'm sure the presidency was engaging the families of all these deceased persons, if you like, see some sort of clearance before coming out to make such a formal communication to the nation. Because mind you, they belong to the family, but they serve the nation, and so to an extent they belong to the nation as well. And as the Chief of Staff described it, a national tragedy
of monumental proportions. I don't know how else to describe this. I don't know the last time this country had 2 ministers of state, cabinet ministers, Deputy National Security Coordinator, a former minister. I mean, this is
so. Let's go through the names again.
This is heavy.
Dr. Edward Omane Boamah, Minister for Defense. Alhaji Dr. Murtala Mohammed, MP Tamale Central, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. Alhaji Muniru Mohammed, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator. Dr. Samuel Sapong, Vice Chairman of the NDC. Samuel Abuaje, a former parliamentary candidate. Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala. Flying Officer Menin Chum Ampedu. And you have Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah. So these are the 8 names as confirmed by the Chief of Staff Julius Deborah as having been on board that Z9 helicopter of the Ghana Armed Forces, which were told to have gone off radar earlier per the statement by the Ghana Armed Forces. Our suspicions, our fears confirmed by the Chief of Staff that unfortunately, all 8 persons aboard the aircraft have passed on.
We will be waiting for information on the possible cause of the crash, information on where exactly they were going, although we believe it was related to the event in Obuasi. Because as you've said, Adansi Akrofuom is not too far from Obuasi itself. It's in the same area. And also what